Dear friend, I think I have a problem. Or perhaps, more truthfully, I think I am the problem. For the longest time, I have searched for an explanation. Something complicated, something profound, some hidden wound or forgotten reason that could explain why I feel the way I do. But lately, I have begun to wonder if the answer is far simpler. Maybe this is just who I am. I do not like being around people. There is no elegant way to say it, no comforting way to soften it. It is simply the truth.
I find peace in solitude. I find comfort in quiet rooms, empty spaces, and moments where the world finally stops demanding something from me. There is a stillness in being alone that I struggle to find anywhere else. People, on the other hand, often feel like too much noise, too much expectation, too much conversation. They talk about themselves, they talk about their problems, they talk about other people, they talk about their plans, their worries, their frustrations, and their dreams. They are always talking. I know that sounds unfair. I know people need to talk. I know conversation is how people connect. It is how they feel understood. It is how they make sense of the world. And yet, I find it exhausting. The constant need to speak, the constant need to listen, the constant exchange of thoughts, emotions, and concerns. Even when the people speaking are those I love, there are moments when I wish they would simply be quiet. My family, my friends, people who deserve my attention and care. Perhaps I have an obligation to listen. But even then, I find myself growing tired.
Sometimes I wonder if the reason I love solitude is because I lack confidence. Perhaps I do not know how to be myself around other people. Perhaps somewhere along the way, I learned that being accepted meant becoming whoever others needed me to be. And so I adapt. I change. I become smaller. I become quieter. I become whatever the situation demands. Until eventually, I lose sight of who I actually am. I stop being myself and start performing. I begin playing to someone else's music. That is what troubles me most. Not that I am alone, but that I feel less like myself when I am around others.
It feels like weakness, the inability to say what I truly think, the inability to do what I truly want, the inability to stand firmly in who I am when other people are present. And so, I chose solitude. Not because it is perfect, not because it makes me happy all the time, but because it feels like a compromise, a middle ground, a place where I can slowly learn the courage to be myself. Perhaps if I spend enough time alone, I can become comfortable with who I am. Perhaps then I can stand before others without changing myself to fit their expectations. Until then, I would rather be alone than be someone I am not.
Sometimes I wonder if all of this comes from fear. The fear of not being loved. The fear that love is conditional. The fear that if I say the wrong thing, think the wrong thing, or become the wrong person, I will no longer be accepted. Maybe that is why I keep people at a distance. Maybe that is why I struggle with vulnerability. Maybe I do not want people to truly see me, to truly understand me.
Maybe it is a matter of trust, or perhaps a lack of it, a desire to protect myself, a desire to stay safe. Because once people know who you really are, you lose control of the image they have of you. You can no longer hide behind the version of yourself that feels acceptable. You are simply exposed, and that is terrifying.
After all, I am human. Just like everyone else, I have weaknesses, flaws, insecurities, fears. And while honesty sounds noble in theory, reality's often more complicated. Sometimes weaknesses become weapons in the hands of others. Sometimes vulnerability changes the way people look at you. Sometimes being known comes at a cost. And so I hide. Not completely, but enough. Enough that nobody truly knows me. Enough that parts of me remain locked away. The secret of who I am stays mine and mine alone. Perhaps that is what years of solitude have taught me. I have spent so much time alone that I learned how to survive without anyone. I learned how to entertain myself, how to comfort myself, how to solve my own problems, how to carry my own burdens. Maybe I became so accustomed to independence that I forgot how to need other people. Maybe my mind simply adapted. Maybe I learned that I could be alone and still be okay. And once you learn that, it becomes difficult to seek anything else.
Or perhaps what I truly love is not solitude itself. Perhaps what I love is freedom. The freedom to make my own choices. The freedom to think my own thoughts. The freedom to live beyond expectations, traditions, opinions, and demands. There is something beautiful about deciding who you are without asking permission. There is something beautiful about waking up each day and choosing your own direction. There is something beautiful about silence. And I am not ready to give that up. Not yet.
I want to remain in my solitude a little longer. I want to continue walking this path. If loneliness is the price of freedom, then perhaps it is a price I am willing to pay. Because compared to the cost of losing myself, it feels cheap. So if I do not visit often, I am sorry. If I do not call, I am sorry. If I seem distant, I am sorry. To the friends who could have been, to the family I have disappointed, to the people who wished I were different, I am sorry. Sorry for the silence. Sorry for the distance. Sorry for the little interaction. And yet, despite everything I have said, part of me still wishes things were different. Part of me wishes I were different. Part of me hopes there is another way. A way to be myself and still belong. A way to be free without being alone. A way to be known without feeling exposed. Perhaps one day I will find it. I hope I do. Yours sincerely, a friend.